Hi YouTube, how's everyone doing this Sunday afternoon? I just watched the Bill Cosby documentary. I know I'm a little late with that, but I just wanted to speak on a few things. And basically the documentary confirmed everything that my father used to say over the years, how he used to look down at black people. They talked about how at Spelman College, which is an all-female college, he spoke very negatively about black men, which is really strange to me, because it's like, why would you say anything negative about especially black people at a HBCU? Why? And he's black, so it was just, when they showed it, it was like, wow, it makes perfect sense. Because anytime somebody's on somebody's case, he used to be on Eddie Murphy case, Richard Pryor, saying that they curse too much. He always walked around like he was better than somebody. So aside from the rape allegations, aside from that, Bill Cosby just struck me as an Oreo. Keep it real. Growing up, I never liked the Cosby Show. I never liked A Different World. However, my father used to watch it. That was the funny thing. Like, he always said he didn't like Bill Cosby, but he liked the shows. And I get it. You know, it is positive. You know, you have a doctor and a lawyer that's married, raising children in the Park Slope area of Brooklyn. So that was something that black folks, I guess, was like, oh wow, we have this positive show. I personally never liked it. I felt like it was corny. I just didn't like it. I knew nothing about the allegations. I knew nothing about him drugging women. I knew nothing about nothing. All I knew is that this guy was corny to me. He really was. He didn't strike me as a black man. Like my father, he's, you know, he's a black man. Like he's very masculine. He's my father, you know. And Bill Cosby, when I seen that, I just couldn't relate to it. You know, my father works. He had a career. He's not a doctor, but my father was like a John Amos. He was very, you know. So watching the Cosby Show, I think that's what turned me off, because he came off as very effeminate. I don't like that kind of character. Another character I would relate him to is like Moesha's father. I liked the show Moesha, but I didn't like the father. I just felt like he wasn't strong enough. And again, that's my personal observation and opinion. You don't have to agree, but I'm just saying reasons why I didn't like the Cosby Show. I didn't like that he was like soft. He came off as like a pushover. I don't like that in men. I like the masculine, you know, macho, because that's what I'm used to. That's what I, you know, like a John Amos, you know. Even though they were poor, he didn't play no games, you know. So that type of thing. So I didn't like A Different World. I just couldn't get into it. I didn't know why. As the years progressed, we heard different things in the media of things he was saying. He said that black men were sperm donors. He said that they were high school dropouts. And he said this at the Spelman graduation. So my father always had a saying, and I believe it too, that whenever somebody is harping on someone, whenever somebody's on somebody's case, there's something that they're hiding. He also was on the Oprah Winfrey Show in 2007. And she even was like, so you're not going to apologize for what you have said about black men and what you've been saying in the media? He said no. No remorse, no nothing. And this was the same time that the first allegation came to light about him. It wasn't really made public. Nobody really knew about it. But it just shows that he was talking all of this to try to get people to come away from what was being said. Basically hiding in plain sight. Also, in his comedies that I didn't know, because I never really was into him. I felt like his stand-up was boring. But they said in his stand-up, he's referred to something called Spanish Fly. And basically, he basically talked about drugging women in his stand-up for decades. And no one really paid attention, or I guess people didn't know. But that's so disturbing that he basically told on himself, but no one paid attention. And so I'm not gonna lie, when it came to light in 2016, I believe, that's when everybody was talking about it. I didn't care because I felt like he's an Oreo. Like, I really didn't care. I didn't. And then after watching the documentary today and seeing all the victims and stuff, it's sad. Like, he went to jail, he's out of jail, but it's actually sad because this man was the American dad. He wasn't just the black dad, he was the American dad. He had a voice, he had a presence on TV, and it's all dissolved because he couldn't control himself. The first victim, it didn't make sense to me. She said that she was a Playboy model. So I'm not gonna lie, when she started talking, I was skeptical because I'm like, this was a Playboy model. This is the type of woman who, saying it, might be out there a little bit, She said that he gave her pills and she took it. Now, why would you take pills from someone you don't know? You don't know this man. All you know is that it's Bill Cosby. You take the pills. She said that she was fully aware of what was going on. She even remembers the position of how he had her. So in my opinion, you can't really call that rape because you took the pills, you knew what was going on, and he put you in a cab. And you didn't realize till after, Now, when it comes to the other victim, now that's rape. This was another model. She actually was in the show. And he gave her a shot. He gave her some shots. And he said this is to relax. The next thing she knows, she's passed out. She doesn't remember anything. If they did something sexual, yes, that is rape because she had no knowledge of it. He did not give her pills. He said, this is alcohol. This is a shot to help you relax. So anytime you give someone something and they have no knowledge of what's in it and you participate in sexual activity, then yes, that is rape. Now, for the other victims, it's really confusing because it's like they knew it was pills. He gave them pills. They took the pills. They knew exactly what was going on. And they never said stop. So with that, that's a little tricky. But for the other ones that passed out, they have no memory or whatever, yes, that's rape. And I do feel bad for them. And the fact that he is out is a slap in the face of women. And that's what really angers me, that in 2022, we do not treat rape as a serious crime. There is no reason that any rapist should have 5 to 10 years and come out. Why are you allowed to come out in society? Do they not realize that rapists continue? If given another opportunity, you think he's not going to put something in somebody's drink? Yeah, he's 84 years old, but I believe in given an opportunity, he'll do it again. He'll do it again. Why wouldn't he do it again? It's just like with R. Kelly, and that documentary is excellent. If you haven't seen it, you watch it. It's 3 years old now, but it's really, really excellent with R. Kelly. It's on Netflix. It originally aired on Lifetime, but it's on Netflix. And my heart goes out to the victims. It really does. And he really has a sickness. He knew that these girls were underage. One of them lied. So that was kind of a weird one. But with the P tape, everybody knew she was a kid. Everybody knew Aaliyah was a kid. My generation, a lot of us didn't believe it because before Aaliyah passed away, she denied it. She straight denied it. And so, of course, you know, those of us who love and adored Aaliyah, why would a beautiful girl want to be hooked up with R. Kelly? Like, you know, he's not the best looking dude. So as the documentary goes on, it's like, wow, yeah, it makes sense that he was intimidating. It makes sense that he was forcing these girls. It makes sense that he did lie and say, I'm going to make you the next Aaliyah. Because that's what he had to do to get them in bed or to get them to agree on sex. Nevertheless, it's wrong because he knew he was grown and he knew that they were young. I think that as a justice system, we really need to work on listening to victims. And I can say that I'm guilty of it myself in victim blaming, being ignorant of what rape is and what it's not. All of us know a rape victim. None of us know a rapist. And I think it's because we condone it without realizing that we condone it. How many of us have heard of frat parties where girls are getting raped, call it what it is, and we don't say anything and we don't report it? Or our friends may tell us something and we don't encourage them to report it. You gotta report it. Yes, it's hard and society is mean, and that's why people don't report it. But my wish is that when I'm in my 50s, I'm in my 30s now, my wish is that in 20 years, the justice system will take rape a lot more serious than what it does now. And that's what piqued my interest with both Bill Cosby and R. Kelly. It's not because they were celebrities, nobody took it serious. It's the fact that women as a whole, both black and white, are not taken seriously. It's not even a race issue. It's a gender issue. Let's keep it real. They always want to, like in the R. Kelly documentary, they said, oh, if these were white women, he would have went to jail a lot sooner. That's not true because Bill Cosby, majority of his victims were white, and he just went to jail 40 years later. So it has nothing to do with race. Growing up, my favorite show was Unsolved Mysteries. All those stories are true. And they had plenty of cases of white women that were missing and raped. I remember growing up, we had one TV, so my mom, she loved watching her news. So in the 90s and the early 2000s, that's all you heard. White women getting raped, white women missing. And then now you're hearing black women getting raped, black women are missing. So it's not even about race, it's about gender. They don't care when something happens to a woman. They really don't. They really don't. And it's sad. It has nothing to do with race, because if it did, why do you have so many white women that are missing and they don't know anything? They don't have any leads. Unsolved Mysteries, all those stories are true. You could Google those stories. You have a lot of white children that are missing. Nobody know anything. Nobody seen anything. And then when a black child go missing, oh, you know, if it was a white child, no, white children are missing too. It has nothing to do with race. Children and women are the two things that society just pushes under the rug. And it's very sad. It doesn't make sense that a man that committed that many rapes is free. I don't care if he's 84 years old. He should not be free. He should not see the light of day. We need to start treating rape like murder, because that's what you're doing. Geronda Pace from R. Kelly documentary. I don't know her, but I feel so bad for her. I feel my heart bleeds for her, because especially because she's married with children, and she said she has problems having sex with her husband because of what she went through with R. Kelly. Rape is not just a one-time situation. This goes on with the victims for the rest of their life. You have women that they can't perform because they have flashbacks of when they were raped. it affects an entire family. You have women who commit suicide because of it. It's so many stories. Rape is more than just getting violated for one time. You really messing up that person's entire life. You really mess that person's mentality up. Many of his victims, R. Kelly, they don't want to date no more because they're afraid. They don't want to be with a man. And then Jerronda Pace, she's married, but it's hard for her because of what she went through. R. Kelly didn't just statutory rape her. He took her virginity. So that was her first sexual experience with a man. And that was not a good experience. So she's very traumatized from that. She's in her 20s now, but it's gonna take a long time for her to heal. And since it takes a long time for them to heal, they should be in jail for a long time. That's my thoughts. We as a system, we criminal justice system, need to do better for our women. Black, white, Hispanic. We need to do better. Again, if you want to see the R. Kelly documentary, it's on Netflix. And if you want to see Bill Cosby, it is on Showtime. You don't have to download Showtime. That's the good thing. If you have a smart TV, it just says, the title is We Need to Talk About Cosby. And it pops up. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday, guys. Bye.